Hey friends, today I'm bringing you a flip through of Learning Language Arts Through Literature, the Yellow Book. This is third grade language arts skills. I'm going to show you what's included in the curriculum, and at the end I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and recommendations should you decide to use it for your student. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is At the Starlings. My name is Peggy. I am a homeschooling, homemaking mom to 7 children. I make videos about homemaking, homeschooling, and family discipleship. This is Learning Language Arts Through Literature, the Yellow Book. In general, this is a third grade language arts level curriculum. As you can see from the cover, it covers many different language arts skills that include spelling, vocabulary, grammar, reading, penmanship, which is handwriting, creative writing, and higher order thinking skills. So this is an all-in-one, open and go curriculum. I'm going to start by showing you in the back, this is the teacher book, but I'm going to also show you the student book. First, I'm going to show you the skills index. So let's flip to that. The skills index here tells you exactly what they're going to be learning and on which pages. So I'm going to show you that quickly. You can see composition, creative expression and games, grammar, huge chunk of it is grammar, reading and spelling, higher order thinking skills, studying skills. So this is the entire skills index for the Yellow Book. And it really is an all-in-one language arts. Here's the bibliography, and these are the books that your child will be reading or reading excerpts from during the Yellow Book. I've highlighted some of the books because, quick story, usually when I look at the back of these, I did this with the red book also, I see the bibliography and I just went and purchased all of these books. That turned out to be unnecessary. The books that I really needed that she actually read all the way through were the highlighted books. So it was Madeline, The Courage of Sarah Noble, Meet George Washington, and The White Stallion. So these were read in their entirety during part of the curriculum, which I'll show you, certain sections. And the rest of these books were excerpts that were part of different parts of the curriculum. So she didn't read Alice in Wonderland or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in its entirety. So I did not need to purchase that book necessarily. Of course, all of these books are really great and are worth having on your bookshelf, but they are not needed, not necessary for this curriculum. Here's the table of contents. It's 36 lessons, 1 lesson per week, and there are 8 assessments. There are 2 kinds of lessons that your child will work through. One is called Everyday Words, and those are grammar heavy lessons. And the other type is the literature link, and that is literature heavy. So this lesson 1, they'll be on lesson 1 for the entire first week, and it's an Everyday Words lesson type. So it's going to be heavy on grammar, like I said, and they're going to read excerpts from The Tale of Benjamin Bunny. So then 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, you can see, then there will be an assessment. Then for the 6th week, it's a literature link, and they will read the book, The White Stallion, in its entirety. If you decided not to purchase that book, or you were unable to, or whatever reason, they do give a short story that's included in the child's book, so they could read that instead, and that's what this Tilda the Troublemaker is. But we had our student read the book in the entirety, and I'll show you what the White Stallion looks like. This is the White Stallion. She loved this story, really, really enjoyed it. This is a very old copy, but I was going to show you how many pages it is. It may sound like a lot for a 3rd grader to read an entire book in a week, but it really wasn't bad at all. So this is the last page. It was 54 pages. So the literature link week is not just reading the book. There's additional things each day that they need to do, but usually the first 2 days are focused on reading and finishing the book. That is what the literature link is like. And then as you can see, it switches to everyday words. So the next 3 weeks are like that. And then another assessment. So that's how it works. The ones that are beside everyday words, this is what they will be reading excerpts from. But the literature link ones, that's where they'll read the entire book. So I'll give you a look at that. Here's the next literature link, Madeline. And then the next literature link here is Meet George Washington. So that is biography, nonfiction for this year, the only one like that. And then the last literature link is The Courage of Sarah Noble. So these are all of the lessons for the yellow book. Here's an example of the everyday words type lessons. So each page it'll start with that so you can see exactly what kind of lesson it is, and it gives you the skills that they will be working on. This is the teacher book again, but it looks very similar to the student book. It gives you some notes and things you can look at here to help teach your student. And then the days look just like in the student's book. So for lesson 1, you can see the lesson up here in the corners all the time. For lesson 1, they'll be on lesson 1 this entire week. So this is the work for day 1, for day 2, day 3. That's how it's broken up into 5 days. So this would be the entire lesson 1. And it's showing you the handwriting that they are doing in that first week. This is my student's student book, which is missing the front cover page. And she takes this outside to do work. It's on the table, it's on the couch, it's all over the place. So it's missing that, but it's okay. I'm going to show you the first week. So here's everyday words, like I showed you. And then, so here's her day 1 work. You can see day 2. She also has some siblings that like to get a hold of books, so that happens also. And then here is day 3. So you can see examples of the work. This definitely, if you've done the red book with your child and now they're moving to the yellow, there's a lot less time-consuming work in the yellow. It's very just open and go. They do things right inside of the book, and that takes up a lot less time than the red book. In the red book, there's a lot of cutting things out and gluing things and projects and things. There's not as much of that in the yellow book. So this begins lesson 2. So this is an example of the work that they do in the everyday words sections. Here's the first literature link. So in the literature link sections, this is the extra story that they could read if you chose to, or they could read it besides reading The White Stallion that goes with this section. So you could have them read both, or you could just have them read the book, or you could just have them read the short story. And it goes over some vocabulary words. So she read that book. The first day was focused on that, was focused on reading the book. The second day was finishing up the book. You can see, finish reading. And then there was the discussion. So these are the discussion questions for The White Stallion. And then there's some for Tilda the Troublemaker, which was the short story. So you can, choose to do one or the other or both. And then this goes along with it. So she had to look up all of these words which are related to horses. So the literature link is kind of like a unit study also in that way, because she's learning all about horses and horse care. And we did a lot of this orally, not written. That's why it's not filled out. But we talked about which words she already knew, which words we needed to look up. And she looked at, different kinds of horses. It was a really fun and interesting study. She learned, the parts of the horse and all. So it's a lot like a unit study when you're doing the literature link. So this is what that week looked like. And this is the assessment after the literature link. And it's basically just about kind of character, like completing work and being creative and all of that. Another example of the everyday words style lesson. This is lesson 20. And this is when she's reading excerpts from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So each day there's different activities and assignments related to that. There's always spelling, and there's a spelling test at the end, which we do. And you can see each day it's very focused on grammar, learning a lot of grammar and spelling and punctuation, parts of grammar. Also, the handwriting, cursive is included in this. This is a later lesson. So just to help you see kind of what would be coming up, what kind of things they would be learning. This is all everyday words style lessons. I'll show you one more literature link. This was for The Courage of Sarah Noble. She really enjoyed that story also. This is the extra short story, Young Daniel, Boy of the Woods. So once again, there's vocabulary words, and you could choose to have them read the short story and the book, or just the short story. We do a lot of the discussion, and some of these parts we did orally, so I didn't have her write things down, but you could choose to do that if you wanted to. So this is an example of another literature link and what that looks like. Here in this literature link, there's an example I wanted to show you of some study skills that she had to do, research skills. So I had her do this on a separate piece of paper, so you can't see exactly what she did, but you can at least see the assignment. She picked someone and decided to look up that person, and then she made a timeline of their life. She wrote all the different significant events in their life and learned a lot more about one of these people. She ended up picking Davy Crockett. So she learned all about who he was. She learned about the Battle of the Alamo. And that was a really good activity for her. I let her use the computer with my supervision, and she looked up who he was and what he did, why he was significant. That was a really good study and research skill for her. Again, a lot of these things, like I had her look up these words in the dictionary, but we talked about it instead of writing everything down, and that worked out for us. So that's a look at learning language arts through literature, the yellow book, little flip through for you. So now I'm going to tell you my recommendations if you decide to use this. So something a lot of people will ask me about is whether or not I think this curriculum is enough, or do I think there needs to be supplements that go along with it? And I would say in general, supplements aren't needed. It's enough. It covers everything. If your child is not struggling in any particular area, then this curriculum is going to be great for them. It goes through everything. If your child is weak in some areas, then you might consider supplementing, but that's really going to be child specific, and that is no fault of this curriculum. With that being said, I did choose some supplements, so I was going to share those with you in case you wanted to use this next year if your student has any weaknesses. Now, we didn't use all of these supplements for the entire year. We just chose a few things, and throughout the year, I would add in a little of this and a little of that to help strengthen her skills. So first, for a literature supplement, because she really enjoyed the literature pieces and the grammar stuff just got really kind of boring to her, but we all have things in life that are boring to us, but we still need to get them done. So she did do that, but we supplemented in a little bit of literature. One of the things that we did was this Mr. Popper's Penguins. We read this together. This is from Memoria Press, so I'll link that below. Mr. Popper's Penguins, we read the novel together. I read a page, she read a page, back and forth. She really enjoyed that, and it felt less daunting to her to have to read the whole thing out loud to me. It comes with a student guide, which has lots of questions in it, and then a teacher guide also, and I can do more on that if anyone is interested or has questions about that. But Memoria Press has some really good selections for literature if you wanted to add some extra literature. Also, handwriting. I wanted her to get a little extra practice with cursive writing, so we used this print to cursive, the Proverbs, and this is from Simply Charlotte Mason. It's a really good handwriting, cursive writing little curriculum, and it's really nice, and she really enjoyed completing that. There are two more supplements that I have here. One is this Spectrum Writing, and this is just to strengthen writing skills. You can see this has been outside and all over the place also, but this gives more like learning to write a story, learning to form paragraphs, and it spends more time on that. And I felt she needed that throughout the year this year. So we didn't complete this whole thing and we didn't do this every week, but I added this in here and there just to strengthen her writing. Finally, Spectrum Spelling. I've also added in a little bit of that throughout the year as needed to help strengthen her spelling skills. And that was really good also. Those are both really good little curriculums, kind of a mini curriculum that I would recommend. And I'll have those linked below. Spectrum Writing and Spectrum Spelling. Overall, we really like learning language arts through literature. I like that it's an all-in-one curriculum and I don't have to spend a lot of time piecing things together. I can just supplement things in when I see that there's a weakness or something that needs to be strengthened. So we really enjoyed it. The yellow book I thought was the perfect amount of time for the lessons. They were pretty short, and I thought that the skills were appropriate. They were sometimes a little challenging to my student, and that's good. It wasn't too easy. And two of the books that she really enjoyed were these two, The White Stallion and The Courage of Sarah Noble. She really enjoyed reading those books, so I think those were really perfect picks for this. So those would be good to add to your shelf, even if you don't decide to use this curriculum this year. I hope you found this flip through helpful today. I hope that it helps you with making decisions about language arts for your student. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions that I'm able to. I also have an entire homeschool playlist that I'll link for you. And I also have a really good curriculum recommendation if you're looking to teach children to read. So maybe you have a younger student than this that you're looking to teach how to read. I have just the most wonderful curriculum for that. So you can check out that video as well. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.